welcome back to the channel, guys. And in today's video I would like to start by thanking everyone who have helped us to get to 500 subscribers, and it's a pretty big milestone, at least for me, and I was really happy when that happened. So again, a big thank you to everyone who have helped us get there, and let's continue to grow this channel together. And the next target would be 750 subscribers, and I really don't have set a date yet, but probably I'm looking somewhere towards end of May. Somewhere towards end of May or mid of May would be appropriate, or would be a correct projection. But sooner we get there, I think it would be better for us. And in today's video, we are doing or we are probably taking on a very spicy team. So that would consist of Shadow, Ninetales and Whimsicott, and this is probably the first time I'm featuring Whimsicott in the Open Great League on the channel. So yeah, pretty excited for that as well. And the set which we are going to feature has 4 in 1 set, is a 4 in 1 set. And along with that, we do have a bonus battle wherein like the first game I played with that team. So yeah, pretty exciting games coming up. And before we start with the team composition, if you are new to the channel and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Again, thanks for helping us to reach 500 subscribers, but the next goal is the 750 subs, and help us reach that target as well, help us grow. And if you want to join the Battleset Discord server, the link to that is in the description down below. So moving on to the team composition, as I mentioned that we are rocking some spice today with Shadow, Kanto, Ninetales, Whimsicott and Pelliper. So Pelliper I think is pretty common nowadays, but yeah, I mean this team generally is not, I mean these Pokemons are not generally seen in the current meta. So looking at the PV poke rating for this team, the team doesn't really do much, that doesn't really do well. It's rated B in terms of safety though, which was pretty surprising. And other than that, I think Whimsicott is a pretty decent mount to have, because it has access to charm, and and with the fairy and the grass typing, it's a pretty unique one. And yeah, it has I mean, since it has charms, it will not get to those charge moves pretty quickly, but it can it's the main motive of using Whimsicott was to have some Altaria coverage, because this team is pretty much weak to it. So the other charmer which I generally use is the Alolan Ninetales, but I cannot use since we are using Kanto Ninetales. And on Kanto Ninetales we are running Psyshock instead of Solar Beam, because we are running it in the lead. So it's rare that we will get a chance to land a Solar Beam on anything, so that's why we are running Psyshock. So enough with the team composition, and without further delays, let's move on to the battles to see how the battle goes. So picking up the best possible lead, and the opponent swaps into Galarian Stunfisk, and at this point I stayed in this for a while because I wanted to get ahead on energy. Probably that was not required, but we do have an answer to Galarian Stunfisk in the form of Pelliper, and Pelliper will win in one shield, because the mud shots are not doing anything and Rock Slide will not KO. So and the Pelliper again wins the CMP up against the Galarian Stunfisk as well. So getting a bit of lag there, that got me worried. Probably they were able to snake in one extra mud shot, and that forced me to use a shield, because I really want to win the switch advantage here. Else the Whimsicott will get paired up against the Shadow of Anomasnow, which is not really good. So we are able to knock down the Galarian Stunfisk, and at this point I probably should have farmed some extra just to fear a possible hurricane, because definitely I would have been able to get there, but the weather ball has chunked away, and the opponent meanwhile swaps to the Swampert, and the Swampert is basically getting deleted with those charms. At this point I'm no shielding, because the Swampert is almost dead, and they tried to bait, which is like the very favorable situation for us. So Whimsicott has done its job. It has taken out their water type, so now we can just come in with the Kanto Ninetales and farm down. So the opponent lost with 2 shields. So yeah, GG's. moving on to the next one, let's see. And we are in a Wigglytuff lead, so picking up a positive lead yet again. And Shadow Kanto Ninetales I think is pretty good, and Weather Ball damage is pretty good, so we will be able to do a lot of damage with those Weather Balls. As you can see, the Wigglytuff is all, we can theoretically farm down, but the Wigglytuff is able to get to a charge move, unfortunately. So maybe it's an IV thing, but we are able to farm down, and we are loaded on energy, and they come in with Azumarill. So I throw a Psyshock just to do some decent chip amount of damage, although not decent enough because Azumarill is very bulky. So we can survive an Ice Beam, we can survive a player of, so no need to shield. I'm keeping the shields for Whimsicott there. So in comes Haunter, and we will be able to pressure the shields at the Haunter's end, but Haunter will pretty much win CMP against almost everything in the Great League. So they go for a Shadow Punch, knockout our Pelliper, but we do have Whimsicott with a shield, and so going for a Weather Ball, this will definitely pressure the large shield of the opponent if they want to keep the Haunter alive. So they indeed shield this one, and at this point I need to call the hard hitting move, Shadow Ball or Sludge Bomb, and they go for a Sludge Bomb, which is really good for us because we will be able to farm down the Haunter. And in comes this Azumarill, so fortunately we will be able to get to this Grass Knot before the Azumarill is able to throw. We could have survived Ice Beam at that range, but probably subsequent Shadow Claws or even the Shadow Punch would have knocked us out. So yeah, so really great, really great coincidence that we were able to throw the Grass Knot there. So picking up very negative lead in the form of this Altaria, and this is probably something I don't really wanted to face when I'm using this team. So I go for a Psyshock, and surprisingly the opponent will shield there. Not really sure, definitely Altaria would have survived that. Altaria is a very bulky Pokemon. So at this point I swap into Pelliper just to see what they would like to do. So I do not shield the Sky attack because I felt like I would be able to get to the Hurricane without shielding, but the opponent is swapping out to Azumarill to catch on this Hurricane, probably expecting no shield. Yeah, so Azumarill will not shield, but Azumarill is already down into yellow, and this time I have to throw the Weather Ball because definitely I was not getting to a Hurricane. But the Azumarill is pretty much very low, and we will be able to, yeah, I think should shield because keeping health on Whimsicott is essential right now. We are able to completely farm down the Azumarill, and they come in with Galarian Stunfisk. So Galarian Stunfisk again, Rock Slide will not be doing that much amount of damage to us, and Grass Knot will be hitting for neutral and will do some decent amount of damage. I was expecting a Sack Swap, but that did not happen, so this is really good. So they shielded the Grass Knot, and we are able to take on the Rock Slide onto our Ninetales, which is really good, wasting some of their energy, but still it's going to be dicey. But the opponent made a mistake there of swapping into their Altaria, which gets completely farmed down. This allows us to get to a Grass Knot, and this Grass Knot will be bringing down the Galarian Stunfisk to very low, and we can safely shield this Rock Slide and jam down this Galarian Stunfisk. So yeah, definitely the opponent swapping out to their Altaria was probably their losing condition, which they were able to find. So in a 5 versus Ice matchup, which we are obviously going to win, and they swap into their Umbreon, and we do have a very good counter to this Umbreon in the form of our Whimsicott. And at this point I'm just completely dedicated to farming down this Umbreon, and Umbreon being a very bulky Pokemon, it still will take some time to take it out. So they will be able to throw their last minute foul play. This is most likely would not have cured, but I still did not wanted to take the risk because Pelliper would potentially could have struggled against the Alolan Ninetales. So going for a Grass Knot, and let's see how much damage this will do. It will get shielded, but we will get farmed down, and it's a Charm Alolan Ninetales as well, so our Kanto Ninetales is going to do very well against it. But the opponent does a really great job in taking on this Weather Ball onto the Azumarill, and Pelliper can potentially handle the Azumarill in one shield on the condition that the Pelliper is able to land a Hurricane. They go for a Hydro Pump, so probably they are running Ice Punch and Hydro Pump. Even if they are running Ice Punch and Hydro Pump, I think Ice Beam would have been the way to go. They take on the Hurricane, which makes this matchup really favorable for Pelliper, because Pelliper will be able to take out the Azumarill, and the switch timer is still not yet up, so I was not able to swap out. But at this point, anything this Charmander Ninetales throws, it's not going to do much damage. Everything is resisted. Even Dazzling Gleam is resisted as well. Not the Psyshock though, but yeah, Psyshock, even Psyshock would not have been able to take us out. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next match, picking up a matchup against Sirfetch'd, and at this point I didn't know how the matchup exactly goes, but this is just a Night Slash or a Leaf Blade, so no need to shield earlier on. Does massive amount of damage because Ninetales is kind of one of the bulkier fire types. So going for a Weather Ball, this will get shielded, and now I swap into Pelliper because I swapped here because I really do have a good answer to that, to the Surface in the form of the Whimsicott. But anyway, the Surface goes down and we are able to throw this Hurricane onto the Azumarill, and we are looking in a really good spot because we are up a shield, and we do have Charm user with us with 2 shields. So unless they have something like Skarmory in the back, I think we are looking good. So definitely I wanted to would come in with the Whimsicott, and they come in with Alolan Marowak, so this is probably the worst Pokemon in the bag that we could see, especially when our Pelliper has gone down. At this point the game is pretty much wrapped up. Probably there is nothing that I can do to savage it, and yeah, playing it out just to see how much damage the Alolan Ninetales can do to Alolan Marowak. But at this point the game is pretty much wrapped up. Even if they throw I was able to call Shadow Bone Bait, the game was pretty much over. So yeah, unluckily we faced an Alolan Marowak in the back, which is not really good for the Whimsicott, but yeah, it is what it is. And moving on to the next one, I think this is last game of the set, so picking up, yeah, I was really surprised to see this one because I really didn't know what to do, and that's the reason I come in with Pelliper, because this thing basically counters almost our entire team. They shielded the Weather Ball, which is good, so at least we are able to grab some shields of the opponent, grab a shield of the opponent. So definitely I would want to come in with Whimsicott, and the charms are chunking away, but at this point they swapped into Ferrothorn, so everything Ferrothorn throws will be resisted unless they are running Flash Cannon. So they go for a Power Whip, which I shield. Probably should have not shielded that, but yeah, eventually I would have ended up shielding at least one Power Whip, so it's okay. So the switch timer is up, and we are able to completely farm down this Ferrothorn because it's double super effective, and expecting that Shadow Aerodactyl to come back in. So Flame, this Weather Ball will be doing resisted damage because of the rock typing, but still Shadow Aerodactyl is so squishy, it still does massive amount of damage. And since the Shadow Aerodactyl was in farm down range, I shielded that, and now in comes Toxicroak. So Toxicroak will need to shield the Weather Ball, but they do not, which does massive amount of damage. And this Toxicroak, even though they will land a Mud Bomb, I think the charms will be able to take them out. So going for a Grass Knot just to do or just to pressure, but yeah, Toxicroak goes down. So yeah, GG's. And that's it for this video, guys. I only played this set and a couple of games more with this team, so yeah, I hope you really enjoyed that, and this is probably my way of saying thank you to feature 2 mods that I've never featured before onto the channel. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.